learning more right now about President Trump and his call for a 25% tariff on Apple products unless iPhones are made here in the U.S. Now, this, of course, has the potential to drastically increase Apple product prices as well as disrupt the global stock market. So let's bring in NewsNation's Caitlin Becker, who's covering all of this for us. Caitlin, no question this would definitely impact everyday Americans.
Absolutely, Nicole. And a lot of everyday Americans, I didn't realize how many people had smartphones, but 91% of Americans have smartphones. And as you know, this is not a lifetime purchase. The tech changes, phones break, people upgrade roughly every 2 to 3 years. So if these tariffs were to take effect, we could be looking at a much more expensive upgrade. Now, President taking to Truth Social earlier this morning, suggesting that, you're looking at it right here, that in this post, once again, Americans should be buying American-made smartphones. That is what he's asking for. And to get that, he's threatening a 25% tariff on Apple if they don't comply. Now, the company, to put this in context, is the world's biggest smartphone manufacturer. Now, of course, this is not the first time the president's tariff plans have threatened Apple. Back in April, when those large tariffs were proposed on China, economists estimated that American-made iPhones could cost anywhere between $1,500 to $3,500. But look at how much more than that is from the current $1,200 cost it is when they're produced out of China. Now, of course, the president says he wants Americans to be buying American-made phones. But as it stands, it's just not possible. Apple doesn't actually make any iPhones in the U.S. Zero, not a single one made here in the States. And it's not as simple as Tim Cook just deciding to move the factories stateside. In China, labor costs associated with manufacturing an iPhone come in at about $40 US. But look at the gap there. The cost of doing it here in the U.S. could be $200. That's just one of the manufacturing costs as well. You have to think about all the parts that are going to go into that. Where are we sourcing them? How are we getting them? Where would they be built? Who would be building them? So just the structure we would need to get iPhones created, manufactured, and sold all here in the United States would be very expensive and take a lot of time. Nicole?
All right, so Caitlin, let's talk money. How are the markets responding at this point?
Well, in a word, poor. Before the opening bell had even rung today, Apple shares were down about 3.5%. The S&P 500 down about a 1.5%. And as we've looked throughout the day, the numbers have fluctuated around that point. So even with the markets opening, you're seeing just overall everything is down because on top of these proposed tariffs on Apple, President also threatening to add some new tariffs over to the EU. So you see overall, all of these numbers are just kind of down for now, Nicole.
All right. Caitlin Becker live for us there in New York. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.